So the report yesterday has brought some, beginning point in terms of our rebuilding process to recapture power in 2028. So we thank everybody. It was a very good and spirited debate about, the matters, some of the highlights that were there, and other related matters on our agenda. So it was, for me, today is our rebirth. Since after the election, now we have a roadmap sort of to put our hearts together and sharpen our arrows and bows for the fight in 2028.
So the details of the report was not shared?
The details of the report, the aspects of it that is consumable by the general population of the party and Ghanaians at large will be put out as and when it's necessary, but the document itself is a confidential document.
Okay.
That is only for purposes of reorganization and not for pleasure of reading and learning about things.
Okay, so who would be entitled to read the content of that document?
It would only be people who are working and leading the efforts, so maybe executives of the party,
okay.
And appropriate.
So say General Secretary, National Chairman, Women's Organizer.
Yeah, I mean, it's generally, yeah. If it bothers on my work and things that I have to do to sharpen and improve communication, yes, that'll be a detail that I have. If it bothers on the work of the national organizer, the women organizer, things that he must do, part of the recommendation to, shape up his organ, then that's probably what he would know,
okay.
To be able to drive the agenda forward for the party.
I see. Do you suppose that perhaps this document, this piece of document, and as you put it, Professor Mike Oquaye document, which has diligently been put together, would suffer some kind of a credibility deficit, and for that matter, make it difficult for the party to unite going forward because of some of the comments we heard from no less a person, Adwoa Safo, I believe 3 times or 4 times Member of Parliament for Dome Kwabena.
Yeah, I think it
must be 4 times.
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
I mean, she's not a small person. She's been a minister, and she's been a deputy majority leader, etc., etc. And she's raised some serious concerns about the integrity and the credibility of the document. And her challenge is with the persons who have been commissioned to do it, and specifically Professor Mike Oquaye. Now, such a person, unless of course the NPP doesn't want it to be a part of the party anymore, but if you want people like her to be a part of the party, then she's got to be convinced why she must take this document much more seriously, even if there's a portion of it which has to do with her role that she played. She's got to be able to accept it, because at the end of the day, if the document comes out and people don't want to accept the content of the document, then you may not be able to make progress. You don't think so?
No, not really. I mean, we are so many million people in the New Patriotic Party.
She may be the only person who's talking, but there may be many others who have the same concerns.
Yeah, I'm not even making the point of...
Adwoa Safo.
Yes, I'm not saying that we're so many million people in the party, and that if you want to have a committee that works, you can't have all million of us being on the committee. So at any given time, whoever you put on the committee, I'll have reason to complain about the person.
Okay.
You'll have reason to complain. So to the extent that we can't have any perfect human being drop from anywhere, people will have concerns. But it doesn't take away from the work of the committee. The key thing is that the committee didn't set out to imagine what went wrong. Okay, the report as we have it is not the imagination of the committee. It's a collective of the inputs that have been brought to the committee. So they just tabulated what has been brought, collated, clean it up, and organize it for our consumption and then implementation. So the question doesn't arise as to whether it is credible or not, because they have not gone to imagine this. It's not a function of their education, right? It's a function of collective insight that is brought to them. They put it together. I think that what concerned Adwoa Safo was making a while ago, if I remember, was to do with her availing herself to the committee. And so I don't know if she presented herself to make her views known to the committee, but that doesn't take anything away from the committee.
I doubt she would.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because she has serious issues with
if she hasn't, I will encourage her that, she's a very senior person of the party. She's done service to the party, and she has role to play in the party. And I don't think the party will just jettison her or just ignore her. The thing about it is that, Moro, as big as we might be in the party or as small as we might be, there are rules, and we must work to those rules. That's really just what brings sanity. Otherwise, there will be chaos. So I'll entreat her, and I'm sure that things have worked out to this point. I'll seriously beseech her to reconsider. Her potential is immense, and there's room in the party for her to grow and to attain the heights that she's destined to attain. And I think that she should work as she's worked for the party in the past, so we can move on, because 2028 is a crucial election for Ghana. And not for NPP, but for Ghana, because Ghana needs to be saved from the experimentation of the NDC led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, which is not going well so far. We can see it. We know it. Ghanaians are beginning to feel it. They are calling and asking why their lights are going off. Why things are getting expensive instead of less expensive. So we know where we are is not good, and we need a new patriotic party to focus and come back in 2020.
So that's my penultimate question there, because their report, let me ask you a few questions. But the thing is, does the report talk about what happened, or it also goes ahead to talk about who is responsible for this? Was there some kind of a blame apportioning in the report? And I'm asking this because I suspect that finally, if somebody gets hold of this report and gets to know who may have done what, either by an act of commission or omission, we sit here, and even if the NDC grabs it, they will begin to talk about, you did this, I know you did this wrong, you did that wrong. How does that help the healing process?
Well, what will help the healing process is that Hamza will not get his hand on that document. you will not get your hand on that document.
Oh my God!
and then those who must get their hands on it to promote the healing process and make that healing happen will get their hands on it.
Does the report talk about going on a thank you tour? And because you've talked about going on a thank you tour.
No. So it's not a recommendation of the report. These are activities that were scheduled before, except they were put on hold for the report to come before they move. So with the benefit of the report here, the door is open for those activities to be undertaken.
So you don't want to tell us who should be held responsible for what? But Global Info Analytics has done that job for you. Yes.
You are tempting me.
No, he's a very good friend. The only reason why I brought it up is because I know you're very close to him. So Musa Dankwa has done some work. And he says a post-election poll conducted by Global Info Analytics has revealed that 68% of respondents hold former President Nana Akufo-Addo responsible for the New Patriotic Party's defeat in the 2024 general elections. 2, the poll reflects public sentiment on the party's loss, with significant portions of voters also attributing blame to key government figures. The findings show that 40% of respondents blame former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, while 37% attribute the defeat to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who served as Vice President and was the NPP's presidential candidate in 2024. And the poll is right there. Additionally, 33% blame Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, while 32% hold other government appointees responsible. Members of Parliament were also not exempt, with 25% of voters assigning them some level of responsibility. The data suggests that many voters view the performance of the Akufo-Addo-led government as a decisive factor in the NPP's electoral failure. Issues such as economic challenges, governance concerns, public dissatisfaction may have contributed to the perception that the former president's leadership played a significant role in the party's defeat. Interestingly, only 9% of respondents blame Kennedy Pong, who contested in the NPP's primaries but did not lead the party in the elections. This indicates that while intra-party competition may have influenced voter decision, the majority of the blame was placed on those directly associated with the government administration. Now, are these persons who have been mentioned, first of all, your thoughts on this before I go to Hamza, and are these persons who have been mentioned be given copies of the report for them to peruse and have a look and say, look, this is what the generality of our party followers are saying you may have done wrong. So next time round when you get an opportunity, be careful. So Nana Addo, so Ken Ofori-Atta, so Dr. Matthew Poku, so Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, etc., etc. Is it part of your plans? Whilst you give me your brief thoughts about Musa Dankwa's poll.
Our report does not report anything in this manner.
Okay.
And so maybe Global Info Analytics need to share this with the people.
Okay.
But our report doesn't speak in those terms.
Yeah.
But the sum total,
okay,
of the matter is that
the report doesn't mention Ken Oforiatta.
No.
It doesn't mention Anado.
Our report is not in that.
It doesn't mention Dr. Mike Oquaye Report.
No.
Okay, it doesn't mention Dr. Mahmoud.
No, it is Global Info Analytics you just read. So that's not our report.
I'm trying to get a scoop.
I know. That is not our report you read. So the truth is that the sum total is that we know we have work to do.
Okay.
The NDC were here some years ago, 8 years ago. They had to go through a process. They did pretty much the same thing. It's normal. It's normal. But yes, the post-mortem assessment is good. It's good for life.
Okay.
I do that every morning. Before I get up, I see what happened yesterday in the rear and see what am I going to do today to improve things, manage my tab better, improve this and do that. It's just regular human conduct to do that. So now we have that report. We're going to work to implement it and see that the things that he encourages us to do, we do them. That he says we should suppress, we'll suppress.
Okay.
And I believe that when all of these things are done, the New Patriotic Party will stand again resolute and ready to lead Ghana again.
All right, just do me a favor and send me a copy of the report. I can promise you that I will share it with Hamza.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll send you something, but if you see it, if it's a report, you can tell me.